Hello and welcome and good morning from here. Welcome to this live session. While the market continues in her slow motion, yesterday we saw very heavy volatility as the inflation data was released from New Zealand dollar axis. Okay. Well, interestingly, that the numbers. Oh, sorry about this. Okay, interestingly, the numbers were wasn't in favor of the New Zealand dollar. Okay, it wasn't in favor. It was bad, worse than expected. In the contrary, or conversely, we saw the New Zealand dollar gaining strength instead of going weak. You can see the confusion there. Numbers were bad for the New Zealand dollar, but the New Zealand dollar gained some strength. That strength might not be over yet, so we are going to very quickly look into a few New Zealand dollar pairs, even though we don't have anything to trade in the markets for now. So let's just go through a few New Zealand dollar pairs to see the possible price action at those areas. All right, the first is the New Zealand dollar against the Japanese yen in the 1 hour time frame. You can see that massive breakout candle. That candle right there, where the average daily range for today might have been made. That is one of the risks you will consider in all of those New Zealand dollar crosses. The average daily ranges have been made for today, but the momentum to the to those directional to the breakout directions are still very much intact. You might see price push up again, so be very careful going short. In the New Zealand dollar against the Japanese yen in the daily time frame, remember we have already established this expanding triangle. All right, an expanding triangle where price have been waving up and down, and the next wave is obviously to the upside. So we should be bullish here. We should be searching for long opportunities until the upper boundary of that expanding triangle is hit. In the 4 hours time frame, we might be seeing a retracement. This might be a little bit of a retracement, and the first bounce of the 3 SMA, a dynamic area of support, has just been confirmed. All right, that's the bounce there. Price has moved away from there. Might have price come all the way here. Might have price come here to bounce to the upside. Might have price keep pushing to the upside on this counter trend, and this is what is recurrent on almost all of the New Zealand dollar pairs that I am seeing. That's a counter trend line. Since we got a breakout congestion pattern formation for price to keep pushing to the upside from that level. That is why it is very risky to go short in this pair, because price is actually trading around possible support zone. Okay, all right, we talked about New Zealand dollar against the American dollar. Let me see, I didn't want to go you have to be very precise with your lines. I think price already broke that level. Let me see this. Okay, I will look at that. You have too many entries there. All right, so we have that level there that has been broken. and price is probably making a little retracement for a continuation move. But again, this is a high risk trade, like I said, because um, the average daily range for today must have been made, but that doesn't mean that the price is lacking momentum to keep pushing to the upside. It still has enough momentum to push to the upside. The next one is the New Zealand dollar against the Swiss franc. In the 4 hours time frame, we have seen how price broke out of that possible flat top. The congestion is not really holding. Price seems to be pushing down a bit. It might be reacting off this level. There are multiple levels of support. All right, if you are interested in going along in this pair, the best place to go long is to wait for price to make that retracement to that zone. From there on, it can begin to turn back up off that level of support. Okay, that's the micro price behavior here in this pair, the New Zealand dollar against the Swiss franc. But again, remember the average true range for this pair is made for the day, so not much might be left on the table, so it's a high risk trade. At any rate, this is the next level of support. If price makes pullbacks, it can push to the upside. All right, next one, Australian dollar against the New Zealand dollar. Just same price behavior. We might be seeing that same thing. The push to the downside might not be over yet. Also a possible pullback. This was former support, now broken. We might have that acting as resistance, so maybe a little congestion, then we can have our price come back down again. So be very hesitant going long. Do not feel it is overbought. The move might just have started. Okay, all right, looking to go long, then you will have to wait for price to go back up above that line. For now, it is trading below that level of a former support, which may now act as resistance. Nothing really for us to trade at this point. New Zealand dollar against the American dollar, we had a trade here. This is that counter trend line I was talking about. Price is messing around that area. Okay, let's see the 1 hour time frame. Let me delete that level. In the 1 hour time frame, we can also have counter trend lines. Maybe this, maybe that for a possible pullback, then bounce. We can have, there are just too many multiple lines. Whenever price is in a very low volume, it is extremely hard to draw or to find key levels of support and resistance. There might be multiple levels of support and resistance to trade, so it's extremely difficult to find key levels of support and resistance. In this case, this is also another counter trend line, so it might just be a pullback to retest that level, then from there on another push to the upside. So be very hesitant. This trade here is a trade that we took last week. It's been running for quite a while, much hesitation, but eventually it seems we were in the right direction of this trade, and based on yesterday's analysis, we'll hold this trade for now. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, all right, I think that's basically all. The American dollar against Japanese yen, other pairs, you can see them in ranges. That one is in range. The sterling pounds against the Japanese yen, we analyzed this yesterday. Ugly price behavior. If you trade here, it's either you are lucky or your stop loss is likely going to be hit. The Canadian dollar against Japanese yen, look at what's been going on there. Range, no good price behavior. Canadian dollar against the Swiss franc, this is likely going to be a channel formation, also hinting for a possible push to the upside. These are the multiple price patterns or behaviors that we are seeing in the chart. The euro against the New Zealand dollar. This is also a likely channel formation. The hit to the downside is not yet complete. It can make some pullbacks to that level, that area there. Then from there on, we can see price come back down to retest that level of support. All of these are ugly ranges that if we trade, we might be finding ourselves in troubles. The American dollar against the Canadian dollar, I have deleted that counter trend line, that monthly trend line. I think this is the overall pattern that we have for this pair. At any rate, we'll bear in mind that monthly line, but for now, I will just keep it simple by keeping this channel. So the directional bias is still to the downside, but price is facing the daily level of support, which is that trend line there. Until it breaks, we'll be flat. If it breaks, we'll be looking for pullbacks and for a possible drop to the downside. All right, okay, no need to waste our time. We'll come back if we find anything valid to trade. The American dollar is losing strength, just like we rightly predicted. You have to be careful trading against the in the direction of the American dollar. It is not gaining strength; it is rather losing strength. So you have to be extremely careful with that. Okay. All right, folks. Thanks for watching. We'll be back if you find something interesting. Questions, contributions are welcome. Post them anywhere. There are multiple channels in the live trading room, YouTube, or even send it via our emails, and we will respond to them accordingly. Bye for now.